Parachinar, the capital of Pakistan's Kurram district, occupies a strategic and sensitive location. Nestled in the heart of the Kurram Valley, it serves as a crucial link between Pakistan and Afghanistan. This mountainous region, bordering the Tora Bora region of Afghanistan, has historically been a vital trade route. Parachinar's location at the crossroads of these historical currents has shaped its identity and its challenges. The town and its surrounding areas have witnessed periods of relative peace and prosperity, marked by trade and cultural exchange. However, these periods have often been punctuated by conflict and instability, stemming from tribal rivalries, sectarian tensions, and the spillover of the Afghan conflict. The presence of external actors, including those from Afghanistan, has further complicated the dynamics in the region, often exacerbating existing tensions and fueling conflict. The Kurram Valley boasts a diverse ethnic and religious makeup. Pashtun tribes, primarily the Turi, Bangash and Orakzai, constitute the majority. These tribes are further divided into subclans, each with its own history, customs and power dynamics. For centuries, these communities cohabited relatively peacefully, bound by shared cultural practices, intertribal marriages, and a common dependence on the land. This coexistence, however, has been punctuated by periods of tension and conflict, often rooted in disputes over land, resources, or political power. The historical harmony between the Shia and Sunni communities in Kurram began to fray in the late 20th century. The influx of weapons and ideologies from the Afghan war, coupled with the rise of sectarian outfits in Pakistan, sowed seeds of discord.
The rise of sectarian violence has cast a long shadow over Parachinar and the Kurram Agency. This violence, often characterized by targeted killings, bombings, and attacks on places of worship, has claimed the lives of hundreds of innocent civilians. The Shia community, a minority in the region, has borne the brunt of these attacks, creating a climate of fear and insecurity.
These acts of violence are often orchestrated by extremist groups seeking to exploit sectarian fault lines for their own agendas. These groups thrive on exploiting existing tensions, using propaganda and intimidation to incite violence.
The sectarian violence has had a devastating impact on the social fabric of the region. The constant fear of attacks has disrupted daily life, with schools, markets, and hospitals often forced to close.
The protracted conflict in Kurram, fueled by sectarian violence, has had a crippling effect on the local economy. Once a thriving hub for trade and agriculture, the region has witnessed a sharp decline in economic activity.
The closure of businesses, the disruption of trade routes, and the displacement of skilled labor have all contributed to widespread poverty and unemployment.
The social impact of the conflict is equally profound. The breakdown of traditional conflict resolution mechanisms, the erosion of trust between communities, and the rise of fear and suspicion have fractured the social fabric.
The conflict has also had a detrimental impact on education and healthcare. Schools and hospitals have been targeted, and the delivery of essential services has been severely disrupted. This has had a particularly devastating impact on children, depriving them of their right to education and healthcare.
The security situation in Parachinar and the surrounding areas remains volatile. The presence of various militant groups, including those affiliated with Al-Qaeda and the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, poses a significant threat to peace and stability. These groups exploit the region's porous border with Afghanistan and the lack of effective governance to establish safe havens and launch attacks.
The Pakistani government faces significant challenges in maintaining security and restoring order in Kurram. The difficult terrain, the porous border, and the presence of heavily armed militant groups make it difficult for security forces to operate effectively.
The Pakistani government has taken some steps to address the security situation, including the deployment of additional troops and the establishment of military checkpoints. However, a purely military approach is unlikely to bring lasting peace.
The ongoing conflict in Kurram has created a dire humanitarian situation. Thousands of families have been displaced from their homes, seeking refuge in overcrowded camps or with host communities. These displaced populations face acute shortages of food, shelter, clean water, and healthcare.
Addressing this humanitarian crisis requires a multi-pronged approach. Providing immediate assistance to those in need is paramount. This includes ensuring access to food, shelter, healthcare, and other essential services.
A lasting solution to the crisis in Kurum requires a comprehensive approach that addresses both the symptoms and the root causes of the conflict.
By addressing the root causes of the conflict and investing in long-term peace-building initiatives, there is hope for a future where the people of Kurum can live in peace and prosperity.